Hey plant lovers, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're unlocking the mystery of why cacti bloom, and what I found is going to change how you look at these desert plants forever. Picture this. A cactus has sat on your windowsill for months, maybe years. You barely water it. It just survives, quietly, on neglect. Then one morning, something impossible appears, a bud swelling on its side, and days later, a flower so vivid and delicate, it looks like it belongs to a completely different plant. Hot pink, electric orange, pure white, petals too soft to have come from something covered in spines. Where did this come from? Cacti don't bloom often. Some people own one for a decade and never see a single flower. So when it finally happens, something significant is going on. The plant is sending a message, and today we're decoding it. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe because what's coming will reveal secrets about cacti most people never learn. What makes these flowers so extraordinary? Cacti flowers are dramatic and often fleeting. Some species bloom for a single day or even a single night. The plant pours enormous energy into one spectacular flower, then it's gone within hours. It's the plant making its biggest statement in the smallest window of time. The blooms are often disproportionately huge. A small cactus can produce a flower bigger than its own body, and the colors are almost neon, built to win the attention of pollinators in a desert where that attention is scarce and fiercely contested. And the timing is never random. Cacti bloom only when very specific conditions align, conditions that signal the best possible odds for their seeds to survive. Across the deserts of the American Southwest, Mexico, and South America, these triggers were refined over millions of years in some of the harshest environments on Earth. Understanding them is understanding the mystery. What desert cultures have always known. Desert peoples have read these blooms for thousands of years. Among the Tohono O'odham, Navajo, and Apache of the Southwest, the saguaro bloom, Arizona's state flower, marks the start of the traditional new year. When it opens in late May, it signals the shift from spring into summer's true heat and the coming harvest. But beyond the calendar, the bloom is a symbol of resilience rewarded. The cactus survives a brutal year, storing water, enduring extremes, guarding itself with spines, and then, briefly, produces something extraordinary. It's a teaching that beauty and new life remain possible even in the harshest circumstances. There's a Navajo belief that a cactus blooming outside its normal season signals that balance has returned to the land. The rains came right, the desert is healthy, everything is in harmony. In Mexican folk tradition, the nopal, central to the culture and printed on the national flag, blooms yellow and red, and a heavy bloom is read as an omen of coming prosperity. Communities have long watched cacti like the pitaya for blooming patterns, since a strong bloom predicted a strong fruit harvest, which meant survival and trade. The flowers weren't just beautiful, they were economic forecasts. Even feng shui, adapted for the Southwest, has its own take. Traditional practice is wary of cacti. Their spines read as cutting, aggressive energy. But Southwestern practitioners reframe the spines as protection, as boundaries rather than weapons. A blooming cactus, in this view, signals that its guarding work is done. The space is secure enough that energy can shift from defense into creation. The flower marks the turn from protecting to flourishing. What's striking is how closely these traditions echo the science. They all point to the same thing: timing, right conditions, the plant answering its environment with beauty and reproduction. The botany behind the bloom. Cacti evolved for scarcity. Thick bodies store water, spines cut surface area and cast shade, waxy skin blocks evaporation. Everything about them is built for survival in drought. Blooming breaks that pattern. A flower is an expensive investment of water and energy the plant normally hoards, so it only spends that investment when the signals say it's worth the risk. The biggest signal is photoperiod, day length. Cacti sense shifting daylight through photoreceptors, and different species are tuned to different lengths, which is why some bloom in spring, some in summer, some in the dead of winter. The Christmas cactus blooms when nights stretch past 12 to 14 hours. Its cousin, the Thanksgiving cactus, responds to a slightly different length. The Easter cactus waits for spring's lengthening days. Same genus, different internal clocks. Desert species, saguaro, barrel cactus, prickly pear, need a second signal layered on top, a real winter chill. Several weeks around 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, followed by spring warmth settling into the mid-60s to mid-70s. That cold spell resets the plant's internal clock. Without it, blooming often won't happen even if everything else is right. It's why cacti kept indoors at a constant 70 degrees so often refuse to flower. They never feel winter. Then there's the drought to abundance trigger. In nature, a long dry spell followed by sudden rain tells the plant that scarcity has just broken and it's time to reproduce before conditions turn again. Cacti watered on a steady, comfortable schedule year-round frequently never bloom. There's no urgency, no signal that this moment is different. Give the same plant a dry stretch followed by generous water and it reads change, opportunity, and often responds with buds. Research out of the Desert Botanical Garden and the University of Arizona has mapped this precisely. Barrel cacti need roughly 8 to 12 weeks below 50 degrees Fahrenheit in bright light with minimal water, then a shift to 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit with watering every 10 to 14 days come spring, a sequence that triggers blooming in 80 to 90% of mature plants. Prickly pear wants it colder still, down to 35 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and tolerates winter moisture, but its real cue is the sharp spring jump in both temperature and day length. Holiday cacti run on the opposite logic entirely because they're rainforest natives, not desert plants. They need 12 to 14 hours of complete, uninterrupted darkness nightly for 6 weeks. No streetlight, no lamp, no LED, paired with cooler temperatures around 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Miss either piece and the bloom often fails, which is exactly why the same plant can flower beautifully one year and sit bare the next, depending on household habits. Maturity matters too. Even perfect conditions can't force a bloom from a young plant. Small, fast growers like Mammillaria can flower at 2 to 3 years old. Barrel and prickly pear types need 5 to 8 years. A saguaro won't bloom until it's 35 to 40 years old and roughly 6 feet tall. The plant simply needs enough stored resources and root mass before it can afford the cost of a flower. How to encourage bloom? For desert cacti, give them a real winter. Cool quarters, 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, from November through February, watered barely once a month. Then a spring shift into warmth, bright light, and watering roughly every 2 weeks. For holiday cacti, 6 weeks of true nightly darkness and cool temperatures starting in early fall usually brings buds within a few weeks. All cacti need strong direct light to generate the surplus energy blooming requires, and a low-nitrogen, high-phosphorus fertilizer in spring can help push things along. Beyond that, patience. Even with ideal care, cacti bloom on their own timeline. What it all means. A blooming cactus is placing a bet on the future. It's spending resources it normally hoards, drawing attention it usually avoids, gambling that conditions will hold long enough for seeds to form. So when your cactus finally blooms, it's telling you the environment you've built, on purpose or by luck, has convinced it this is the moment. The spiritual traditions call it harmony restored. The science calls it a response to favorable cues. Both are describing the same thing. There's something moving about that. A plant built entirely around defense and endurance chooses, once in a while, to make something delicate. The spines protect, the flower creates. Your quiet, spiny windowsill survivor is carrying that capacity the whole time, waiting for the right mix of stress and relief, darkness and light to let it show. Has your cactus ever bloomed? Tell me in the comments. If this changed how you see these desert survivors, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of your plants.